How about some NBA power rankings? Y'all ready to do this? Do we have a?
I don't know if we are or if we aren't because none of us know what we were doing. We were just kind of let's swing it.
Ridiculous exercise. Do we have a funky intro, Kelly? Yes, we do. Oh yeah. It's like we're at hockey song.
All right. So can't really tell you if I did this right or not, but here, let's go with it. What you won't find in my top 10 is the Nets because they have not currently put Kevin Durant back out on the court also or Ben Simmons, and Kyrie can still only play on the road. So obviously that could change hugely in the next week to 10 days.
Bigly.
But not right now. So Celtics at 10, and then this is kind of the other factor here. The Nuggets at 9 with the Nuggets flexed to maybe the 4 or 5 spot when they get healthy. So have them at 9 now as presently constructed with a huge raise on them whenever they get everybody back. Jazz at 8, I know it's probably a bit low, probably going to be a little bit higher on everybody else's. Something about this team, I watched this team play and I just wonder, can this team actually really and truly get it done? And so you could flip-flop the Jazz and the Grizzlies for me. I guess it wouldn't really be that big of a difference where I have the Grizzlies at 7. No matter what I really and truly honestly think, sometimes we were saying this when we were doing our power rankings in the NFL, sometimes I just have to go with what's happening on the court and they just continue to win and they're winning and they continue to win and everyone's playing awesome. So find them at 7. Bulls probably the lowest on the totem pole here in correlation with where they are in the actual standings. They're just this Bulls team. I keep waiting for at least one of the wheels to fall off. It hasn't quite yet. I still think that the wheels will fall off. If not one wheel, 2 wheels, maybe even all 4 wheels. So I do have them at 6 because again, they're getting it done as we speak. Warriors at 5. Again, we haven't really seen
That's exactly where I put them.
The clicking Warriors yet. We haven't really seen that yet. Now, when Draymond gets back and Clay gets healthy and he's a little bit more, and they have a chance to move up as well. But as of right now, I can't get them higher than 5 because you just can't put them ahead of the Suns, Heat, Bucks, and Sixers, which close out my 4-3-2-1. The Suns are a little bit further down because of the injury situation with them. So they would probably be in either 3 or 2, but they're at 4 due to their injury situation. Heat come in at 3. Kelly's probably got them at 1, 2, 3, and 4, but they're only going to come in at 3 for me. Bucks at 2. I understand they've hit a little rough patch here. I still think that team is super, super strong, and I think that when it's all said and done, they're going to be right there in the mix. And again, we have seen it, granted super small sample size, but we have seen what the Harden basically, what should I say? I'm going to say the James Harden effect on the 76ers because, he's one of those guys that, in any given night, he might be a guy that scores 30, but he might also be a guy that only scores 10 but has 15 assists. He might be a guy he just decides night to night kind of what to do and with all that. And so I do have them up at number 1.
All right. By the way, JB Bickerstaff just got tossed from this Cavaliers game. Just lost his mind. Said something to a ref.
Oh, he did not make contact or anything.
No. Called the foul on the Cavs. He objected. Here are mine.
19 points down, too. Yeah. It's he's just kind of I'll take that.
Yeah.
Loser video.
Mine are similarly sort of conflicted. So I have the Nets at 10. Kyrie is still playing on the road. KD coming back tomorrow. Didn't want to knock him out of the top 10, but certainly by virtue of how they have been playing, they don't deserve to be top 10, but I did throw them in there just as a placeholder at number 10. I have the Bulls at 9. I mentioned this earlier. The Bulls just have a really bad record against really good teams, and until they can correct that, they get the booby prize of 9 among the other candidates in this group. Nuggets are 8. They just smash teams with Jokic on the floor. The prospect of Michael Porter Jr. and then Jamal Murray perhaps rejoining this Nuggets team. The Nuggets still, without those two guys, have won 8 of their last 10. So they're still playing good basketball. They're 8th on the list. Defending champion Bucks are 7th. Bucks getting it a little small lead after the first quarter here against the Heat right now, up 4. This would be a good night for the Bucks to sort of re-announce themselves and say, oh, by the way, we did win a championship. Don't forget about us. So I still got the Bucks at 7, but I don't love the way they've played. Obviously, they had a lot of injury problems. They, like many teams in the East, have just not been at full throttle for varying reasons. The 6th team is the Miami Heat. The Heat, again, going into the All-Star break, only 450 minutes with the big three of Bam Adebayo, Kyle Lowry, and Jimmy Butler playing together. Again, 550 other trios in the NBA have played more together heading into the break. So we haven't seen the Heat at full strength, but what an amazing feat for them to right now have the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference despite all that. I did with the Warriors what you did with the Warriors. I just put them at 5 because I'm like, okay, if Draymond's with them, they're better than 5th. If Draymond's not with them, they're worse than 5th. So I just put them at 5 for purposes of right now as a placeholder. The Jazz, regular season juggernauts, they're at 4. Sixers on a 2-game sample size with Harden and Embiid end up at 3. And then I really couldn't do much with the Grizzlies at 2 and the Suns at 1. The Suns, even without Chris Paul, still playing pretty good basketball. Grizzlies are just a great regular season team this year. Who knows if they will be in the postseason, but they deserve to be 1 and 2 in my humble opinion. Kelly.
All right, let's fire up the right ones. 10.
I know, yes, of course. We knew We knew who 1 was.
Oh, look who's got the Warriors at 5 also.
Yeah, we all had the Warriors at 5. I guess that was a clean sweep.
Yeah.
Number 10 comes the Chicago Bulls. I really wanted to make this the Nuggets, but I figured I'd give the Bulls a tip of the cap for the what was the phrase on Wheel of Fortune last night?
Yes, tip of the cap.
No. Feather in the cap, right? Feather in the cap. That's what it was.
Feather in the cap.
Yeah, feather in the cap.
One of the great sequences in Wheel of Fortune history.
That was incredible. Anyways, Bulls 10. Bulls 10. If you, look, this team is number 2 in the East. If you look at just season-long net rating, they have dropped down to 13th. They're 15th since January 1st. I just think this is a team. It's been a great first half story. I don't think they're as good right now. I don't think they're going to be as good as in the future. DeMar DeRozan has carried this team so incredibly well. It's amazing. 8 and 9 Celtics Mavericks. I think you could flip these teams kind of either way here if you wanted to go 8-9. I did feel like both deserve to be included, though, with their recent play. You've got Boston 20-9 since January 1st, number 2 in net rating, best defense in the league. Dallas, second best defense in the league, 4th in net rating since that time. These two teams are on the upswing right now. Now, the Jaylen Brown situation, how long is he going to be out? It sounds like it's only going to be a game or 2, but if that lingers a little longer, this team could easily fall out of this top 10. Grizzlies I have coming in at 7. I think that's the truth serum. Do I think that Warriors and Jazz are better than the Grizzlies if they met up right now? Yeah, I probably do. I love it's another one. It's a great story. They've played amazing basketball, but they're young. I just don't know that they're going to really be in there deep in the playoffs. And even right now, I think that they're seeing that the West is getting a little bit more competitive for them with the Jazz kind of right on their heels. So I got the Jazz up at 6. They're as healthy as they've been basically all this season. No Ingles. I don't really know. Kind of like you guys were talking about. I don't really think you could put them. I can't put them any higher than this. Or even any better than this. That's for sure. They're definitely not a top 5 team. They don't belong on that left-hand side. Matt, I think we had the same 5 teams on that top 5, just in different orders. Warriors, we all had at number 5. Gil, I think you said it perfectly. That's one of those. They're solid right now. I don't know if they met today against any of those teams on the right-hand side. I might be betting some of the teams on the right-hand side, but they'd probably be catching points, and, it's that kind of situation. So I think they're as good as any of those teams 6 through 10, but they're not as good as any of those teams 1 through 4 right now. But when Draymond gets back, Clay's in the rotation, who knows? We'll have to see. James Wiseman, who knows what's going on with that situation too. 3-4, I went Suns, Bucks. I think you could flip-flop these two very easily. These two I didn't really know what to do with it order-wise. Bucks just having a couple stumbles right now, so I thought they should be below the Suns. Suns without Chris Paul, not fully healthy, but you're going to get guys like Cam Payne back here soon. That should help them in the backcourt. And then I guess 76ers too, I think, with what Harden's already shown what he could be for this team. I think this team is going to be probably the team to beat in the East in the end. But right now, that is the Miami Heat, who is the team to beat. In the East, this team is number 3 in net rating since January 1st, one of the best defenses in the league. They've been top 10 defense and offense all year long. They're completely healthy, working with those guys that haven't played together. Miami Heat, number 1 team without a doubt.